And so as an
Good afternoon. Hi there, everybody. I know Lana's here with us, and also we have people watching on streaming and YouTube. And beginning in the next day or so, this will also be available as a audio podcast that can be subscribed to and automatically delivered to your podcast player. Today, I want to bring to you a teaching from a man whose name is Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev. He lived in the late 1700s. He was a Hasidic teacher, a man of great renown, a very spiritual leader who had many followers who loved his teaching, the way he connected with them. His teachings were based on the traditional texts, like most rabbinic teachings are. Today, we're going to talk about, and most of the time when we talk about him, we take teachings that are from the weekly Torah portion. And yet he adds his own spin, usually based on his study and understanding of Kabbalah. So the Torah opens, as we're going to read this week, with the very famous words, the very opening of the Torah, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And he taught that one of the basic principles of our tradition is that that this world came from someplace, that it wasn't just an accident, that it came from God, and that it was God's beneficence, God's creativity and giving that created this beautiful world that we have. But God's creation, God's creating, did not stop when at the end of 7 days. That according to Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, this creating takes place each and every day. And he gives as a proof the fact that we continue to breathe and live, and new children are born, new animals are born, new grass grows, that this world is continuing to grow and to create. And he points out that this is God's work. God is responsible for keeping things going, for keeping each and every breath of ours going. In fact, he points to the prayer service, the Siddur, where Rabbi Levi Yitzchak teaches and reminds us that we say every morning, 7 days a week, right after the Baruch Hu, we have a blessing, and it is the blessing is Asher Yatzar. God who forms light and creates darkness. That is, the blessing that we say is not for what God did in the past, it's for what God is creating now. And he teaches that this is a very important concept, because once we understand that we are in this process of ever unfolding creation, then it has a personal effect on us. He says that it allows us to reach a state of divine consciousness where we recognize that we are only a small cog in a much bigger system, in a much bigger world. He says that divine consciousness, when we recognize that we're just a small part in the big world, that is what he calls a sense of ayin, a sense of nothingness. Now, it doesn't mean that we should feel like we are nothing, but that the world doesn't center around us, that we are part of something much larger. And he teaches that when we recognize that we're part of something much larger and that we're not expecting the whole world to be concentrating on us, that we reach a high level of divine consciousness. And it allows us to operate in this world in a state that he describes something as like being an angel, because can rise above the pettiness, rise above the daily aggravations of life, knowing that we are in this perpetual state of God's creation. It's a marvelous idea, a marvelous teaching, and reminds us, as he does frequently in his teaching, that one of the dangers for us as human beings is to think that everything is owed to us and that God owes us something. In fact, he says it's the other way around. It's not that God owes us, we owe God. And we do the mitzvot, we do the commandments, we observe God's commandments in life as part of the way we pay back this ever-present creation that fills our lives, that allows us to see the sun rise every single day, that allows us to experience, as we did the past few days, a new season that has come upon us, and that has given us days where we feel we can breathe and walk outside and put on a nice jacket. And so it's a beautiful teaching. Ongoing creation leads us to this state of higher consciousness. Mourner's Kaddish now. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemei Rabam. Bialma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam le'omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yidadar v'yidaleh v'yidalal Shemei d'Kudisha barichu. Li'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemai v'chayim olenu v'al Yisrael v'imru amen. Aseh shalom b'mramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Thank you all very much. I appreciate you being with me today, and we will see you all soon. Have a good evening and afternoon.